Welcome to Wheel of Chaos.
Perfect belch timing right there. Well, we might as well
I'd like to
start.
buy a
That
vowel.
was a perfect intro. Welcome to the Wheel of Chaos. So today we have the usual suspects. We have Scott, who cannot be seen in the lower right, Stu in the lower left, at least in the view we have now. Thank you.
Green
thank
with
you.
envy.
And we have the wheel, the ASL Wheel of Chaos in the upper left. Let me make that a little bigger so people can see it. It's been slowly rotating here, getting
For a
ready
week.
getting ready to randomize. We did not add a new Stu is on camera, obviously, which is great. Yeah, flex. We did not add a new topic on the wheel because Scott went off script last time, so we're working with the same thing. So let's go ahead and roll it up. Oh, I have a new rule. When we find out what the topic is, I'm going to roll another or spin another wheel to find out who starts first, who starts the topic first. Okay. It's a
okay, that's
new rule.
Interesting.
I like it.
Slipped in there. Okay. Let me get this bigger so people can see. Let's see what we get.
You didn't randomize it.
It was kind of slowly rotating. That kind of randomizes where. Oh, no. Okay. Okay.
Paralysis by analysis.
Paralysis by analysis. I think this is a topic that's came off of Stu's list. You don't like that topic?
No, it's good.
No,
It's
fine.
good. Yeah.
Let's see. I got to go to the other wheel. Where is it?
Oh, right.
I have another wheel to spin. Here
begins,
it is. Here it is.
Who begins it?
There we go.
Yeah,
Oh, very cool.
So
I'm not
this
entirely sure what the question means, but
okay. Well, yeah. Maybe Stu can give a little intro here, but this will determine who starts. Okay.
Yeah, spin that bad boy.
And then.
Oh shit! You didn't put a warning about the motion sickness.
Scott's like, I don't know what this is about, but I'll start.
Scott
All right.
starts. I'll start by passing to Stu.
Let me stop sharing for now. Okay. So yeah, Stu. I thought it was pretty self-explanatory. Do we paralyze our gameplay by overanalyze something? And Scott and I guess I'm kind of starting. Sorry.
No, go ahead and give us a definition first.
Well, Scott and I,
what it means.
Yeah, you know what it is, Scott. It's where you have a tank A shooting tank B, and you spend 5 minutes analyzing every modifier and the probability of a hit or a turret hit, and when you should just roll the fucking dice and then see what happens. And it's probably going to be a miss, and you've wasted 5 minutes. Anyway, that's my interpretation. So take it away, Scott.
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally guilty of that. I do it all the time. I have to try and I find myself just sitting there spinning my wheels, thinking about, what to do next and trying to figure the perfect strategy when I just need to just move stuff and just roll dice and just do it. So, yeah, totally guilty.
So what's a way to eliminate that?
It's not easy. I don't know. I haven't figured it out really. I mean, you just got to remind myself. Well, we talked about it. Sometimes we say, well, I'm going to try and play quicker, and not overanalyze everything.
Have you considered playing? I mean, we've talked about it. Playing with a time clock, chess clock or whatever, just to get things moving.
No, I mean, I don't, like we talked about too, it's like we don't really care how long it takes us to finish a game. It's not about speed, but...
Not when we're playing, no.
No, I mean, but... Yeah, it's an easy trap to fall into. Just thinking about stuff too much, yeah.
I think you could take steps before the game to help you speed up your play. I do this a lot, especially like vassal allows you to do this quite easily. But say you have multiple vehicles with multiple movement point types, like half track, AFE. AFEs are the simplest to play because they're the most common. And then, like, say you have a truck or an armor car, those, or like a I won't mention the other vehicles, but truck or armored car are the ones that really throw people in terms of MP costs. I see a lot of MP errors being made. What I'll usually do is on Vassal, the little label in the upper right, and put the label and say truck 4 MP, AC 3 MP for like open ground, and I'll just stick it in open ground. Heck, it's like in the middle of nowhere, like behind me, like it'll be like right there. And then for grain, for all the different types that are not really intuitive, I would just put like a little reminder so I could count my points quicker instead of like, oh, I'll go here and then, oh, the guy says, oh, 5 points, you can't go there. And I go, oh, fuck, and you take it back. And so it helps you at least initially pregame to determine exactly how fast your vehicle could go. As a matter of fact, this question came up yesterday. Some guy was pointing out a game where you have platoon movement and you have 2 vehicles that are apparently FEs, and the other one had a truck MP with it. It's like, well, that truck can never enter the mix. So what the hell do you do with that? And that just came up like yesterday. So at that point, you would have to make shortest path, but that would quicken it up for movement points.
I see a theme here, at least from our 3 initial responses, is that vehicles there seems to be a connection with paralysis or over-analysis paralysis with vehicles more than infantry. I think that's kind of what I'm hearing. I think that's my experience.
Yeah, it's just so much
usually,
with the vehicle.
Yeah, you can move farther usually, so there's more options really.
Yeah, you have to carefully count out vehicle movement. They're starting and stopping, and vehicle covered arc and delay and all of that. Infantry movement doesn't have any of that. Plus, like you said, you can move further.
And you can fire. You can fire while you're moving.
Right, exactly.
Or you can enter somebody's hex while you're moving, which you can't do with infantry.
Right.
So vehicles are like, aliens coming to Earth, and they can do a whole bunch of shit that the infantry, which you always play with, don't have that ability. So, I could sleeve fuse that. I could do that. So, just for instance, the last game I played, I took my, your platoon movement. Somebody's going to get blown up. At that point, they're going to be kind of stranded. So I just drove my guy through the woods into his hex. At least maybe if my guy survives, then it'll tie him up for a little bit. He happened to destroy me, turning me into a burning wreck, but that served the same purpose. Now he can't fire out with like a +4, 3 or 4 modifier. So that did exactly the same thing. So it's like, and I think with vehicles, you just, until you become fully familiar, you just move them and push them. And if you get blown up, okay, they get blown up real easy. Maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll do that. So don't overthink it. Like you said, Neal, like when you're firing, if you move and you fire, it's +5. Just think +5.
Just roll the dice.
Yeah,
roll the dice. If it's low, start crunching the numbers. Because I'm not one of these people that has every diral modifier, shooter and target memorized for every situation. So I am guilty of sometimes over analyzing when I should just roll and see what happens. Especially when there's a slim chance of a hit, just roll.
All right.
So where do you think your over analysis or where your paralysis takes place in the game? I think I know the answer, but either of you.
Mine's the movement phase.
Yeah.
Infantry, vehicles, both.
Infantry, vehicles, doesn't matter. Yeah. It's all timing. Because when I move, I think of okay, but I'm getting faster because, working with a lot of the SK guys on routing and things like that. As soon as you accept that braking is not a bad thing, braking serves a purpose. Braking draws enemy fire. Braking might allow your unit to even move further than it could normally move, depending on the terrain. And that's when you just kind of look at the terrain. It's like, oh, if I brake here, if I just run in the open over here, right? If he rolls a 3, so be it. He's going to roll 3. But if he rolls like a 7, I'm going to take a 1 or 2 morale check. If I'm German or American, most of the time you have ELR that's decent. You're not going to, explode. But brake there is like, okay, I could route over there. And guess what? I have a leader over here, like we covered last time. Now that leader can get over to where he is, and he's actually further ahead. Once you can read the board like that, just your units can move much faster. And as long as you lose the fear of breaking, because you know where that guy's going to route, it's not a big deal. It's the game is so much easier after that.
I mean, for me, I think it's a lot like chess. I mean, if I'm the attacker, I mean, it doesn't usually happen until deeper into the game is when it gets to, like, the farther into the game, the worse it gets. Because if I'm attacking, I usually have a plan and I'll stick to the plan for the most part. And then, but when you start to react to what I'm doing, then that's when I start to overanalyze, like, how do I counteract what you're doing? And then, especially if the game's on the line, like when you get down to the last few turns or something, and
The mad dash.
Yeah.
I found that, especially in big scenarios, defensive fire can get bogged down in some of the details, especially maybe in PTO if there's a bonsai involved and you're trying to figure out, every first fire, subsequent first fire, potential final protective fire, where to lay the residual. There's a lot of decisions there that can get overanalyzed as well, I think. And that in conjunction with movement, like, could really bog it down.
Yeah, like,
interesting. Yeah,
it's situational, but a lot of times you want to hold your fire, right? But then there's other times when you want to fire right away. There's a lot of thought that goes into because you're thinking about the next move, right? What's going to happen next, and how this is going to affect that, and how that'll affect the next thing, and so on.
Right. I usually in the defensive fire, and that's a good point because everyone approaches it very differently. Is that let's say I have a medium machine gun and a squad, and he's got a couple flanking forces. It's like, do I want to shoot at such and such a unit? What I'll usually do is say, I want to stop him from going across this road or stop him from entering that building, regardless of who it is. I want him to stop him from getting to point B. So, and then you just use your forces almost regardless of what he shoots up. It's like, if I could fire, like Neal was saying, if I could put residual firepower there, then can I fire again, which would also benefit me, maybe put residual firepower a little closer. So, like, if I pop that long range shot, that might be like one residual firepower, and then I get an additional shot closer, that might actually be in a better spot. Now he's got to, like, if he expends another movement factor trying to get around that residual firepower, that might stop him and he might screw up. So, but. Oh, you're muted, Neal.
I am muted. Sorry about that.
There you go.
Can you hear me? Okay. You've played in tournaments. I have not. How does this play out in a tournament? Do the tournament directors and other players, freak out when people start overanalyzing things, and are they pushing you to play faster and that kind of thing?
If you're in a face-to-face tournament, usually online tournaments are over multiple sessions. Usually, face-to-face tournaments, obviously, anywhere between maybe 4 to 6 hours. I think the tournaments I've been to are like 5-hour slots. Mm-hmm. I haven't had a guy drag out on me more than anything. I'd probably be the slower one, but I'm making more once I start going, I fucking balls to the wall. But I have heard horror stories where guys take an inordinate, like 45 minutes to move his first unit in the movement phase. It's like, nah, fuck that shit. You're done.
That'd be me.
Every
I'd be
minute
thrown
past
out.
10, you lose a squad. Just flick a squad off the map.
Penalty.
That's way too much, dude. That's like, dude, are you reading the rules on learning how to move, or what's going on here? So that's extreme. But I haven't experienced that. But I know people and spoke to some people that have, and I would not tolerate that. 17-year-old, I got more time in my life, but right now, no, I ain't got enough time for you to fuck around.
Oh, like we were talking before we started, you're a young pup. Got plenty of time.
Oh, spring chicken. Gobble gobble. But
That's a turkey.
yeah.
Scott dropping the truth bombs. That's a turkey. Yeah, that's
But,
interesting. I think if I played in a tournament, and I keep saying I'd like to, and then I get anxiety thinking about it because I'd go there and I'd sit there with my, like this, looking at stuff, and the person I'd be playing against would be like staring at me, and I'd probably be taking far too long than most tournament players take. Then I'd feel rushed, and I'd probably do stupid shit. I mean, more stupid than normal.
well, if he catches you going slow, just say, "Oh shit, I thought it was your turn." Even if you know it was your turn, just say, "Oh, I thought it was your moving pace."
I'll remember that the next time Scott and I play.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we're always playing on vassal, so we can't. We're not face to face, and it'll be like my move, and I'll just kind of like get lost, because I'm looking at the screen, trying to analyze it, and just not saying anything, and then you'll be like, did I lose you? Are you
Yeah,
you
you're
still
still
there?
Yeah.
You still there? Oh
You're
yeah, sorry.
You're
I
lost
was,
in your
I
own
was thinking
thought.
about my grocery list or something, or
Yeah. Sometimes, like if I'm taking a while, sometimes I'll start talking about what I might decide on doing. Obviously, if there's obvious moves, like where's that tank going to go? It can go here, it can surround him. And a lot of times when you do that, you notify your opponent that you're actually thinking about your turn instead of thinking about what you have for lunch or, the hooker that's waiting for you in your room or something like that.
wait a minute,
Or,
what?
and,
Well, tell me
and you
about
can
tell me
actually,
about
is
these
this?
ASL
How do I
tournaments.
sign up? Yeah.
Oh, you don't want to
Wow.
sign up in some of those tournaments. But like when you say, "Oh, I say my tank could just go around here behind him and cut him off," and so what you can do is put the pressure on him, and if he doesn't see something like that, and even if you have no intention, if he's in a tight spot and he just wants to hunker down there, it's like, well, I can sleaze freeze him with that shitty tank, and then if it just say kind of bluff him, and then do some other action, and then he has to think about it. Oh shit, my guy might be a little more vulnerable, and then he's got to react to something that actually doesn't exist. I mean, that's something that you can do in terms of engaging with him because he's just waiting, right? That's the whole point about paralysis analysis is I've got nothing to think about because you're not doing a damn thing. But if I pose a situation, it might get him thinking about the game instead of thinking about you not doing anything.
Or just
And
waiting.
even though you are thinking about the game,
Yeah, but you can't think about. I mean, chess is a simplified example. You can't think about your next move until he actually makes that one move. ASL is that one moves times 10 or whatever, right?
Yeah.
There's
There's only prediction, right? There's only
Yeah.
prediction. Like, hopefully he, if he can't make it to there, then, excuse me, I could draw back and, whatever, counter it and not have to worry about getting over there and things like that. But
What I hate is when I get stuck, and this happens all the time. We'll be playing, and I'll just be sitting there looking at it, and I'm like, well, I could try this, and but then you would do that, and I could, well, or I could do this, and well, you might do that, and then I'd be like, this sucks. I don't know what to do, and
it's a vicious
then I'll
circle.
just say, fuck it, let's
Yeah.
just try. I'll just try this, and
That's usually how I respond too. Like, fuck it, whatever, and you just do something.
yeah,
And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, which is about par for the course, even when you have a plan.
yeah. I think your opponent is always looking at your best units to shoot and kill, right? So a lot of them will lock down on, like, let's say that 9-1, 9-2 leader. They're going to lock down on that sucker, and they're not going to shoot at anything until that son of a bitch moves. And I'm waiting for him to move, and I've got my machine gun ready, looking down the street, staring at you. Move everybody else first. Move everybody else first, because even move your shitty units move first that don't matter to your game plan to see if prick the bear, to see if you get him going.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, he didn't do that, or he did do that. Maybe he's trigger happy, and then move another unit, see if he's trigger happy. And then you can get within, like, if it's a regular kind of like your guys are already close and you're already engaged, most SK games are this way. If he's trigger happy, then you know you can wait and then pull the coup de grace by moving your big leaders and your big firepower and getting them into very safe spots after that, or at least exposed to minimal risk. And then the hammer drops and he just he just implodes at that point.
Yeah, throw the bait
But-
out
I
there.
always feel sorry for the half squads because they're always the first ones that move, and it's like,
Yep.
They're the chum in the water.
Yeah.
Get out there.
Yeah. So, and like I said, the half squads are very good because, again, does he a happy trigger finger? Does he pull the trigger on him quick? And if he doesn't, then you kind of itch your way to the sides or behind him, and then after his guy breaks, because he's just a half squad, what's he going to do? Like a 1-3-6 Italian half squad? I don't give a shit about that.
No.
But you can't route towards him, regardless how little firepower he has.
Yeah.
And he'll learn the hard way, and then hopefully you can take advantage of that. But you have to, I think, early in the game to do that, and it helps yourself. It kind of, because you don't know how he is, and so that's a big question mark. Like, you guys have played together forever, but I haven't played either of you except for the 3-player game, and so I don't really know you. So I have to kind of like jab and see what your
float like a
particular
butterfly,
tendencies might be. Yeah.
sting
And
like a bee.
and that way it's like, shit, I don't know what he's going to do, so I'll just do this. And as long as it's a minimal impact on your game, then go for it. Again, maybe you could break and maybe you could route further up the way to be a pain in his ass.
Do you guys
So-
think theater contributes to paralysis? I do. And I'll give you an
Yes.
example. And Stu, you and I talked about it on Discord a few weeks ago. I brought up the scenario Camson that Scott and I played. Probably Scott's favorite scenario ever.
God.
And exactly. Well, it's a classic, right? But we started playing it, and just like two or three rules. DTO, I mean, DTO is fine. Hillocks were fine. DTO it's just mostly flat, right? But just the introduction of two or three DTO rules, which was the Camson, which was insane levels of dust and wind, and was there some blindness? I can't remember if there was some blindness.
Wind direction.
There's wind
Yeah,
direction.
I think there was some blindness.
And trying to figure out all the modifiers. I mean, it probably took 3/4 of the game for it to actually start locking in my head. And it slowed the gameplay way down because I was really conservative. I didn't understand the modifiers. And when I did, I just started overrunning Scott's ass.
Right.
The game would have gone a lot faster if I would have understood the theater better.
Oh yeah,
Right.
you weren't going to hit
100%.
shit.
100%.
Yeah.
Maybe
I've got the
PTO
same
might be
thing.
similar.
Yeah, I've got the same thing. I played Rob from Advanced Squad Leader Spotting Round. We played the first game of the Crete operation, whatever the hell it is. It's the blue thing by Heated Battle.
Herculeon or whatever.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, the first one there, and it says, if you want to fire on gliders, this, that, and the other, it's like medium dust. You're not going to do shit to a glider. They got the +1 defense, and your firepower is probably going to be 2. 2 + 2 is not even going to do shit. The only thing you hope for is you roll 6s on landing. So pretty much it's just going through the exercise of landing, like almost a tutorial, and realize that your firepower is going to be extremely minimal.
So why not just start everyone on the ground? Is that kind of what
Yeah.
you're getting at? It was kind of pointless. Is that what you
I think a lot of scenarios have gone away from the gliders, and they just come off board. Parachute, Fallschirmjägers, they come on board because they landed on the ground back there, 30 minutes ago, and they've gotten together. And I like the chaos of the board, but I definitely wouldn't play. Wouldn't play too many tournament scenarios with a parachute drop. But again, I'll take that risk. I like the risk. It's like it's all chaos, and you're most likely going to surround him anyway. I played the Japanese one with Jack, I think last year or something like that. It's I don't remember the name of it, That was actually a fun scenario. Japanese against like some neutrals, and you have to take the pillboxes. Half my guys of one stick flew off the board, but it still made a game of it. And it's usually low firepower, low number of troops, and there's definitely some maneuver. You got to get your guys together, and that wasn't too big of a deal. It's, like you say, it's almost a chore. But yeah, just go for it. But no, just notify or be aware that if you're firing more than 6 or 7 hexes away, forget it. You're not going to do shit. Just run. It just allows you guys to run around with impunity almost.
Yeah.
Well, I think of a lot of scenarios like puzzles, and so sometimes when you're playing, it's like, well, when we played the Americans, Germans, the zoo.
Mersenhausen.
Yeah,
Murtenhausen.
Merzenhauser Zoo.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was like a puzzle. I was like, how are you supposed to do this? Because I was just getting my ass kicked, and it's like, there's got to be, something in, a key to the scenario. There's got to be something that I'm doing wrong, and just trying to figure that out. It was, yeah, I don't
No,
know.
I think
It
in
was a
that
struggle.
scenario, I had a Stug crew that won several crosses of iron. I think
Wow.
they just went crazy on you when you brought your tanks on. That you had some
Wow.
bad luck in that one,
Yeah,
or I had good luck and you had bad luck.
You mentioned that scenario, and again, guess what? Armor. Armor slows it down a little bit. And I think some players want to preserve their armor to the extent that they'll just lose the scenario because they don't want to lose all their tanks. And there's a couple scenarios. Just look at the VC, right?
Yeah.
It all fall back to the VC. If it's not CVP dependent,
Who cares?
and if they're just support, drive them up there. And if anything, make sure you drive in a road so they get blown up and flame up. And hell, back down the road. Maybe he'll flame you up, and then your infantry can come up pretty easily at that point. I mean, seriously, it's like throw a half track up there, 1 armor. Shit, that thing's going up in smoke if anything over 75 hits it.
Is paralysis why people, getting back to the original Wheel of Chaos, is that why you think a lot of people don't use Chapter E, which is all pretty much it is all optional rules, right? Night, interrogation of prisoners. What else is in there?
A lot of weather's used in
Paradrops,
that.
right?
Paradrops,
Weather.
gliders,
Yeah.
fighters.
I don't see it referenced very often in questions or discussion.
Yeah, I think that's more akin to they don't want to have to read the 3 or 4 pages of rules, which I don't blame them. It's like kind of like because they don't play it often. It's almost like an extremely expanded SSR. They have to play for that one scenario.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
I'm with them there. I haven't played Knight because of that. I don't even know what Knight would be like, to be honest.
You've never played Knight?
Not really. I can't remember a game.
I think we did it once back way back.
Yeah. I mean, it's like 6 or 8 pages. I've read Ben Meckled's like article and don't be afraid of the night or whatever it's called.
Mhm.
Probably 10, 20 times. And still,
you
it's
should
like,
be an expert.
I just play ETO or Japanese, so I don't have to actually worry about that. I mean,
yeah, I'd
like to, but I don't play often enough to facilitate that. If I played like 3 times a week, yeah, one would be a night. Well, every other week would be a night scenario. So
yeah, with my luck, my guys would just stray. They'd just be straying all over the map and have no control over them.
Plus, I know I won't be playing that type of game often, and so I just won't remember the rules from time to time.
That is the alert to start winding this
2-minute warning.
2-minute warning. Yeah, random selection down. I was going to bring up one more thing, but I forgot what it is. I think it had something to do with the reason that people prefer just to play infantry. Well, one is because the system it shines with infantry, is to avoid rule paralysis and overanalyzing things. The infantry system is pretty simple if you played a lot of ASL. There's it's pretty easily handled by most of us. But as soon as you start introducing vehicles and other theaters or Chapter E rules, you have to spend time analyzing all these extra probabilities, and I think a lot of people kind of shy away from that.
For me,
Yeah,
the
like-
paralysis is really just from not so much rules, but just strategy, moves. You know, trying to, like I said, trying to figure out the right move.
Yeah,
Right.
more units, more complexity, more analysis, I guess.
Yeah, just like I said, I'm sort of the same way. When I overanalyze, just look at what you got on the board and make a couple of free moves that don't seem to make much sense, but semi-objective based, and then based upon the more information you get, right? Because analysis paralysis is just simply lack of information. If all of his guys are first fired, then the rest of your turn is easy. You just move them, and so just start getting that steamroller going. Start putting
Yeah.
push that boulder over that hill, and it will pick up speed. And
Just
yeah, and you'll see what happens.
Just do something. You know, even if it's wrong, just do something.
Right.
Yep. And I keep telling myself every time I play, I'm going to do that. I'm going to play faster. It has yet to happen. One of these days, it will happen. All right, guys, we're at, I don't know, 30 minutes or so. Let's call it done.
Call it.
And I'll add
Excellent.
another topic to the wheel, TBD. I don't know what. I have a list. I'll add it to the wheel, and we'll spin it again next week and talk and bullshit about some more ASL. All right.
Excellent.
Cool.
Thanks. See you next week. And everybody, thanks for listening or watching, however you're choosing to do it. And we'll see you next week. Ciao.
Right. Take care.
Get to the chopper!
If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like what you saw, thanks for watching, and let me know how I can do better. See you in the next video.